Hello everyone. So yesterday we talked about how factoring is the opposite operation of distributing. Also, factoring is the opposite operation of multiplying two binomials, okay, which we do using FOIL. So let's review the FOIL method and then talk about how we could undo FOIL. So if we multiply using FOIL, we will get x squared plus 7x plus 12. Let's go over here for a minute. How do we get 7 from 3 and 4? Well, that would be adding. So when we're factoring, we're going to call 7 the target sum. How do we get 12 from 3 and 4? Well, that would be multiplying. And the answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. So when we are factoring, we're going to call 12 the target product. Now let's do some practice here, because what we want to do is we want to be able to easily find two numbers that multiply to make one number but add to make another number, and they have to be the same numbers. So two numbers that multiply to 9 but add to 6. So that would be 3 and 3. How about two numbers that multiply to -7 but add to 6? So we know that they both need to be negative. If they're multiplying to -7, we know one needs to be negative and one needs to be positive. And we also know that we want them to add up to a positive number. So let's try -1 and 7. -1 times 7 is -7, and -1 plus 7 is +6. All right, you try this one. Pause the video and then turn it back on for the answer. We need two numbers that multiply to -28 but add to 3. So -4 and 7. Okay, so let's get into how to undo FOIL. So these are the steps that we're going to follow. We're going to identify our target product and target sum. The target product is always going to be found by multiplying A times C. And we are going to call whatever is in front of the x squared. The coefficient in front of x squared is A, and the number without a variable is C. So to find the target product, we're going to multiply A times C. So 1 times -28 gives us -28. To find our target sum, we're going to look at the middle coefficient. So our target sum is 3. Okay, so now we're going to split the middle, which means we're going to try to find the numbers that multiply to make -28 and add to make 3. And I believe we just did that in our last one and decided that they were -4 and 7. So that would be -4 times 7 is -28, and -4 plus 7 is 3. Okay, once we have that target product and target sum, we're going to take this middle term, the 3x, and we're going to split it into 7x minus 4x. So we're going to write it like this. Our polynomial now has 4 terms. And remember, we talked about the other day that when a polynomial has 4 terms, it can usually be factored by grouping. So let's group the first 2 terms and the second 2 terms. And now we're going to factor out the GCF of each group. So the only thing these two have in common is an x. So we'll bring that out front. The only thing that these two have in common is a -4. Since they are both negative, I'm going to go ahead and factor out a negative. So now we are going to divide each of these by x because that's the GCF, and that gives us x plus 7. We're going to divide each of these by the GCF, and that gives us x plus 7. So now we have a common binomial factor. We're going to take the common binomial factor out of each group, and then we're going to write down what's left. So x plus 7 comes out here, and then x minus 4 is what's left after we take out that common binomial factor. Okay, let's do some practice with this. And as we do this, it's going to be important to notice the signs of our target product and target sum. So first let's find our target product and target sum. Remember, our target product is A times C. So our target product is going to be 16. Our target sum is the middle coefficient. So our target sum is 8. So we are thinking of two numbers that add to 8 but multiply to 16. Well, that would be 4 and 4. And notice when our target sum is positive and our target product is positive, the middle numbers are both positive. Okay, so now we need to split the middle. So x squared plus 4x plus 4x equals 16. We're going to group our factors into two groups. Should be a plus, sorry. Okay, group our factors into two groups, and now let's take out the common factor from each group. The only thing these have in common is an x. So I'm going to take that out front. This is a 4. The only thing these two have in common is a 4. I'm going to bring down my plus, and I'm going to take the 4 out front. Okay, so x squared divided by x is going to be x. 4x divided by x is going to be 4. 4x divided by 4 is x, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Notice we get a common binomial factor, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it out front. And now I'm going to write what's left in the second set of parentheses. So what's left is x plus 4. So x plus 4 times x plus 4 are my factors, and that can be written as x plus 4 squared. All right, let's just do a couple more examples. What about if you have a positive target product and a negative target sum? Let's see what happens. Okay, so our target product is A times C. So 1 times 16 is 16. Our target sum is the middle number. Okay, so I want my target product to be positive. There's only two ways that I can get a positive when multiplying, and that's two negatives or two positives. My target sum is negative, so that means that these numbers need to be negative. So let's try some different factors of 16 that are negative. I could have -4 times -4. That equals 16, but let's try -4 plus -4. Well, that equals -8, so that is not going to work. All right, so let's try -2 and -8. Well, when we add those together, negative 2 plus negative 8, that does give us a negative 10. Okay, so now we're ready to split the middle. I'm going to split negative 10x up into negative 2x and negative 8x. Okay, group our factors into two groups. Okay, I'm going to take an x out of this group, because that's the only thing that they have in common. I'm going to take a negative 8 out of this group. So x squared divided by x is x. Negative 2 divided by x is negative 2. Negative 8x divided by negative 8, well, that leaves us only x. 16 divided by negative 8 is negative 2. Notice how the binomial factor is the same. So that's our common binomial factor. We bring it out front, cross it out, and then we write whatever's left in the second set of parentheses. And we have this one factored. Okay. This is the last one that we're going to do for the video. Let's go back up here. Notice when the target product is positive and the target sum is negative, both numbers are negative. Okay, now we're going to do one where our target product is negative and our target sum is positive. In order to get a negative target product, we have to have one positive and one negative. In order to get a positive target sum, our larger number has to be positive. So 1 times negative 18 is negative 18. So that's our target product. Our target sum is 7. So two numbers that multiply to make negative 18. Well, I'm going to do, let's see. I know that negative 9 and 2 multiply to make negative 18, but when I add those, I get a negative 7. Oh, so maybe I need to make the smaller one negative and the larger one positive. So 9 plus negative 2 equals positive 7. So notice that when the target sum is product is negative and the target sum is positive, your larger number has to be positive and your smaller number has to be negative. Okay, let's split the middle. X squared plus 9x minus 2x minus 18. Group the factors into two groups. Take an x out of this group. Take a negative 2 out of this group. X squared divided by x leaves us with an x. 9 divided by x leaves us with 9. Negative 2x divided by negative 2 leaves us with only an x. Negative 18 divided by negative 2 leaves us with positive 9. X plus 9 is our common binomial factor. We'll take it out. It leaves us with x minus 2 for the second set of parentheses. We'll continue with this more tomorrow in class.